You think we really understand what love is? And I'm not saying that to be cliche. I mean, do you really think we understand in this Bahamian nation what love really is? The essence of love isn't shown when things are good. The essence of love is shown when things are bad. And with the surplus of bad things that's happening in this country, I'm afraid to say, but we don't really understand what love is. We understand what tolerance is. We have an abundance of tolerance. You know, we got people that have been living under the same roof for years, have never addressed that situation that split them up or that drifted them apart, never addressed it. We got friendships of 15 and 20 plus years that have decided to just fade away because of one situation that went down last week. And if we don't understand what true compassion is, if we don't understand what affection is and empathy is, how can we really say that we're familiar with love? See, when you are tolerant of a person, that just allows you to function as an individual. It does nothing to strengthen the bond between two people. It does nothing to strengthen the bond that you have with yourself. Being able to tolerate and function in society is not the hallmark of love. That's why you find people can look like they are so good. People can look like they have everything together, but deep down inside, man, they hurting. And see, the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is fear. We breed fear when we don't properly deal with situations in our life that went south. When we get cheated on, right? When we get backstabbed. When we just feel like things have been taken from under our feet and we don't deal with that, we breed fear. And fear has been replacing love in this country for years. That's why you find our relationships can't work. We don't know what it is to give trust. We don't want to give trust because we fear that we are going to get hurt again. We fear that by speaking up against the things that we see, not just in our surroundings, but in our families, in the lives of our friends, we don't really understand what love is. Everybody wants to keep quiet. Everybody just wants to get by, just function. But see, God is love. We can't escape that. I don't care what religion you are, God is love. And the fact that we don't have that in our hearts, it means that we can't recognize that in our environment. See, the nature of your heart will show in the way you think and perceive things in this world. And if we don't have that love within here, how can we expect to connect with that out there? See, we are called human beings for a reason. We are always in a state of being something. I don't have to know you to know that you've experienced sadness, that you've experienced anger, that you've experienced joy and depression and anxiety, paranoia, fear. We all have. And the fact that I have experienced those things, it means that if you are also experiencing those things, then that is a connection that we share. So how is it that I can be comfortable in my shoe? How is it that I can be comfortable with my life when I am looking at my brother or my sister that is suffering over there and be okay with that? Do I really have love in here? If you are my friend, how can I continue to allow and enable you to do these things if I love you? Love is not this happy thing that is always joyful, you know. Love can sometimes be scary. Sometimes love puts you in a position where you are uncomfortable. But because you love and care about that person, the thought of where they are going is much more dangerous than what they are currently doing. And so sometimes when you love people, you may be outcasted. Sometimes when you love a person, that means they may not love you back. But love isn't this gushy red stuff that Cupid shoots at you, that the media and society has taught us. No, that's not love. Sometimes to love people, you gotta get angry, man. We just sit down like we don't have problems and we just sit down like everything cool. But all we doing is tolerating one another. That's not love. We tolerate one another just to function. And we got a plethora of bad things that's going on in this country. And you wonder why the first emotion or the first thing we go to is something negative? Because what you thinking here? Negativity. You all heard the term before, real recognizes real? That's the same with every emotion, you know. Anger recognizes anger. Love recognizes love. If I don't have that within here, how can I recognize that out there? And so what happens is we misinterpret love as this negative criticism. Oh, you ain't my boy. Man, I thought you loved me, man. Why you doing me like this? Why you calling me out like this? So because it's not in here, we misinterpret that to be some kind of negative criticism. Oh, you got a vibe with me. And then we isolate ourselves from society because people just don't get me. Man, some of the people you most angry with are some of the people who love you the most. But you got to recognize that it's your inability to see it because of fear. Your heart is riddled with scars. And if you don't do a good job of treating those scars, the pain from that fear will disable you from ever experiencing true love again. And so we deal with it by just tolerating. We got to do better, people. It's not enough to just tolerate. This life is complex. This life can deal you some serious cards. And if you are only tolerating, you ain't ready. People who tolerate can't deal with the curveballs that life throws at them. The people who tolerate, when life gets rough for them, they crumble. They crumble, and because they've burned all of their bridges, they turn to these funny vices like drinking, like smoking weed, having sex with random people. I just doing me. We think that that's living life. Nah, man. That's an emotional tirade. You know, when people say, I doing me, man, that's one of the worst things you can do for yourself. If I am my brother's keeper, and I must treat you like I treat myself, I must love you like I love myself, do we really love ourselves? Boy, y'all don't know. We got some serious questions to answer for ourselves, people. But we gotta make this change today. It's not a government. No leader can show you this. You gotta understand that this is important for yourself. If you don't begin to be this change you want to see in this world, you will never ever see that change. And it starts with love. Love gives you room to understand people who are different than you. Love gives you patience to deal with problems you could not otherwise deal with. And so the source of everything in this world that pertains to love starts with God. Got to develop that relationship with Him personally. You know, I'm not talking about this religious thing we do on Sundays where we put on certain hats and go to certain church services and recite certain prayers from memory. I ain't talking about that. I talking about really sitting down and developing a relationship with God. Because once He is in here and you start to recognize this in your environment, you start to look at life differently. And prepare for challenges, because challenges are going to come your way. They're going to come from right inside your camp. People are going to say, you talking fool, man. I don't know what you want. That's okay. Like I said, sometimes when you love people, it's going to put you in funny predicaments. But if you truly love that person as you love yourself, you need to do what you got to do. Don't be afraid, be bold. Alright? Because this world needs more of that love. So, if you got something from this video, I want you to share it. Because I know that there are people on your timeline, there's friends and family who need to hear something from this video. People who've been warring for years. People who ain't been talking for years, they need to see this video. Scars gotta start healing. We gotta start ridding ourselves of this fear and replacing it with love. So if you wanted more information on this, send me a message. But we gotta start doing what we need to be doing. Alright, folks? Y'all take care.